What is up, guys? This is Tcg Sam here, and in today's video I'm coming at you guys with kind of a new build of Virtual Worlds. I was tinkering around with it, and this is a really high risk, high reward build. I definitely personally wouldn't play this in a very long tournament, just because that addition of more power to this deck can lead to some consistency issues. So for that reason, just be aware that while this deck is more powerful than normal Virtual Worlds, it definitely is more susceptible to brick hands. But keeping that in mind, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys haven't already, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. These really helps keep me motivated to keep posting more videos like this. But let's just hop straight into it now. So we do win the die roll, getting to go first. And you can see our opening hand is really nice. We open Upstart Goblin, Fusion Destiny, King Long, Lao Lao, 2/2. So the addition I added into the deck is Fusion Destiny. One of the most powerful cards in this format, if not the most powerful. And we're playing as Invoked Dogmatica TPE. Going up against one single Ash Blossom, we can definitely play through it with this hand. Our hand is definitely good enough. We start with Upstart. The reason I'm starting with Upstart is even though this plays into a card like Duel, even if I normal 2/2 activate Lalo, dump King Long, search Lulu, and then I get trolled, like, it's still not that great. I'd rather see where we're at, so I don't even have to commit my Virtual Worlds. I could just Fusion Destiny pass at that point. But we draw GG. Note, there is no draw, so we're free to go off with our searches. Activating GG, targeting 2/2, sending the King Long, gets ashed. That's totally fine. We get to send our Shan Wu, special summoning it back, making a Zolkin, setting our Fusion Destiny, activating Zolkin effect, summoning Crystal Wing, activating Shan Wu, bringing back the Lao Lao, ditching our King Long for next turn. Here, I make a Croc. The reason I'm making Croc over Shen is because Shen unfortunately does conflict a little bit with Fusion Destiny, because every card that would be sent to grave is banished instead. So if I pop DPE in itself, it's not going to be able to come back, which is, I guess, like the downside of this deck. But Croc is not a bad interruption, because we're drawing a card, so no matter what, unless it's like one of the bricks, we'll have two cards in the end phase because GG's adding back one of the cards to Lala. So essentially, we would have a Crystal Wing, a pop with Arcathes, and a pop with DP with loads of follow up. So Croc effect, draw one, draw E-Telly. It doesn't matter what we draw as long as it wasn't one of the bricks. And you can see the two cards, the bricks we're playing in this deck, are Malicious and Denier. The reason I'm playing this over Celestial and Dasher, Malicious actually has applications. If you draw it, you can discard it with King Long. It becomes a very decent level 6 extender, which is why it's not as bad in a deck like Virtual Worlds, just because you're able to discard it off of cards like King Long and Shan Wu, and it gives you value. And you may say, oh, but once you go through both Maliciouses, your Fusion Destiny is going to be dead. Actually, Nian can recycle the Malicious, so that's really important to remember. It's not the end of the world if you draw these. Pairing up with that, it's going to be Destiny Hero Denier. Denier is very strong, not only because it lets you recycle Malicious for a very powerful follow-up, because the turn after you DP, you have a Malicious to summon, and you have a free level 6 in the first Malicious, a free level 3 in the Denier, and then another level 6 once the Malicious on the board hits the graveyard, because Denier is recycling the banished one. So the levels work out. Not only do the levels work out really well, but it also gives you a lot of follow-up in addition. And that's why we decided to go with Denier over Celestial. You can definitely play Celestial if you want, assuming it has been banned by the time this video comes out. But yeah, I personally think Denier being a level 3 is very strong. But yeah, we summon DP during the end phase. GG adds back Lao Lao, and we pass it over to our opponent, who starts with Prosperity. Prosperity banishes 3. Fusion Destiny, Imperm, Ecclesia. So Impermanence as a going second card is not the worst in the world to draw. It trades very well with one of our interruptions, and he's gonna choose to actually, I believe, normal the Alistair and hold the Impermanence. I think no. He forgot to activate Imperm, so I let him take it back because we're testing. Impermanence is gonna, I believe, target the Crystal Wing to turn it off. Normal summoning Alistair gets him a search for Invocation. Obviously, I'm not going to pop it here. I mean, you could say, oh, well, what if he has Maximus? Well, I can't know that he has Maximus in his hand, so I kind of just have to let this all go and wait for him to actually summon something before I pop it. But yeah, here he goes for a Purgatrio. That's totally fine with me, because I can just pop Purgatrio with any one of these. It's not a big deal. as McAllister. Special Summons Maximus, I have to use my DPE here just to get rid of it, just because Maximus is gets him so much advantage. So we get to trigger our DPE, and he activates his Fusion Destiny, bringing out Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. That's alright. In the battle phase, I ultimately decide not to pop any of his cards just because I'm not going to die this turn, even with the Purga Trio, so it's really not that big of a deal. Destroy Phoenix Enforcer destroys 2 of my cards. I take the Piercing from from Purga Trio, and he attacks directly with Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Proceeding to main phase 2, that's all he's got. He just has a single Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and our Enforcer is coming back. So I believe we have this game in the bag, especially with such a strong hand. And also, don't forget, Prosperity halves the damage, so I wasn't in danger of dying anyways. We realized that afterwards. So in the standby, I decided to activate Destroy Phoenix Enforcer just to get rid of his, because I know every single card that he has. Once I clear his Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, I should just have completely free reign over this game. Starting off with the E-Telly for Nian, going with our regular Virtual World combo. I decide to activate Malicious first, just because I don't want to draw into it. Definitely remember to do that. We draw into a GG. Denier effect comes out since we control Malicious. Denier puts back the Malicious. GG sends something, brings back Nian through its own effect. Nian puts back our Chuche as Juju gets rid of Purga Trio. Overlaying the 2 for M7, putting back a Destroy Phoenix Enforcer just in case I mess up game somehow. We bring back all of our guys. Activate Malicious once again, so you can see it's the Malicious and the I forgot his name. Denier effect are coming into huge here because we just got 2 free level 6s plus a level 3 body in addition to our DP coming back. So that's insane follow up for us. And this is just game. So a very powerful hand going first, but let's see what this deck can do going second now. Alright, so getting into game 2, our opening hand is not the greatest for going second. We only have a Lightning Storm as our going second card, but Lightning Storm can be kind of easily played around if you summon your guys in defense, or if you just don't have that much back row. We just don't have any hand traps to stop him, and our opponent opened Ariel, Fusion Destiny, Schism, Alistair, Prosperity. So a pretty strong opening hand because he gets this whole Mechaba play, gets a Destroy Phoenix Enforcer at the very least, and then Prosperity can dig for some other powerful defensive cards. So Prosperity's for 3, grabs a Lancia, which is huge because I don't think we're going to be able to do anything under the Lancia, plus all this disruption with Mechaba and Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. So our opponent sets Schism, passes, we draw Prosperity, shotgun the Prosperity just because we don't want to do something and then be locked under Lancia. The fact that he didn't shotgun it means we can take advantage of that, use our Prosperity first. That's kind of thing to keep in mind, especially since we know our opponent has a Lancia. If they're not going to shotgun it, then you want to use like cards that banish, like for cost, cards like Prosperity or Desires. And that's exactly what we do. You can see this is what we banished. Obviously, all the draw cards you can't draw this turn with Prosperity. Utopia Beyond I cut out because his guys are in defense anyway, so it doesn't do that much. And then the Zulk and Crystal Wing package. I decide, since I know 2 of the 3 cards in his hand, I just figured I'd take the chances that Nibiru is not there. So that's what we do. We activate 6. Our activates weren't that great, so I just grabbed Lala as an extra name. I grabbed Lala over E-Telly because we can just normal summon GG regardless. And then from here, I activate Lightning Storm, clearing his back row. Starting with Kowloon, activating King Long. This forces out the Lancia, otherwise King Long can just force out one of his interruptions. Activating GG, sending Tutu. Activating Laulau. I think this was might have been a little bit of a mistake. I probably wanted to activate Lily first, save the best one for last. But he already knew I had a Lala, so in my mind I was thinking, well, he knows I have Lala. He's probably just going to save his negate for Lala anyways. Negates Laulau. I ditched Laulau for a Tutu. Tutu doesn't get banished because of Lancia. Comes back. Synchro for a Shen. The reason I don't attack this Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is because you gotta remember we're under Lancia, so we can't. Even if we try to kill this Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, Shen's effect isn't gonna really take place because Destroy Phoenix Enforcer is just gonna go to the grave instead, and at that point we may as well just have tried to kill the Mechaba. But from here we send to set Tcg. Like, there's not much we can do under Lancia. The best we can do is hope we survive, and then try to play off of a very strong follow-up next turn with King Long to force something out, Shen Shen, and then Shan Wu to bring something back. That's honestly the best we can hope for. But Dasher specials out Ecclesia searches Maximus. No, DP, well, he forgot to summon DP in the standby, but yeah, DP summons itself back. Maximus banishes Almirage to summon itself out. Celestial to draw 2. And then he activates Feather Duster, and I just know it's game over here. There's not much we can do about that. Lance is just way too strong when we're playing into a board. Like, if there was no board to play into, Lancia, it wouldn't really matter. But we did have to play into a few interruptions, so we can't really do much under Lancia in that situation. But moving on to the all-important Game 3, our opening hand this time is Lulu, Lao, King Long, Kowloon. Dimensional Barrier, so very strong opening hand. We have Kowloon Lulu, probably my favorite 2-card combo ever, plus a Dimensional Barrier to turn off his entire extra deck pretty much. He has Meltdown, Prosperity, Ecclesia, Fusion Destiny, and Deer Service. So while there's some very good cards in his hand, he draws one part of like every main engine. He has no going second cards, which is kind of an issue. So we're just able to have free reign here. Starting off with Lulu. Obviously, I want to start with Lulu and not Lao. People may still think that Virtual World is on like Gamma, so like they may not choose to stop the Lulu if I activate it with no monsters on the board. And I just think even if our Lulu gets stopped, like we can still play with Lala, so it's not the end of the world. So we add GG, and now we have access to every single name. Lily only dumps the trap. I don't want to dump too many spells to the graveyard because I want to keep them in my deck just in case. And you can see here we're going for the Ultimate Zolkin play. So for those of you who are a little newer to the deck, this is kind of the play you want to always go for. Zolkin, when you have something to set, because Zolkin will either force out a hand trap, or if it doesn't, you have a monster negate to stop cards like Nibiru. If our opponent does Imperm here, we have a Chuche face up with 2 Vanish to be able to dodge it, so it's not the end of the world either. We special summon out our GG, dumping the Nian. Lao dumps the trap, brings back Lulu. Nian summons itself out. Synchro those 2 into a Charge Warrior. We draw into a Lily. Nian shuffles back Chuche. The reason I like doing that is because Chuche is a very important part of your grind game. Even though that gets us 1 less banished, I still feel it's worth it to banish put the Chuche back into our deck. Although you can make the argument of leaving 4 banished, that's also fine. But Shan Wu brings back GG. Synchroing those 2 for a Croc. You can see I'm trying to dig for a Fusion Destiny here. We don't get it, but it's not a big deal because Crocs is a very good interruption under Shen Shen. It's just another copy of Chuche because now we have 2 cards in hand. Shen Shen, 2 Chuches essentially, a Crystal Wing, and a Dimensional Barrier with a lot of follow-ups. So it's being very difficult for our opponent to play through this. Even if they have Dark Ruler no more, they're going to have to, 1, deal their entire board, play through a Dimensional Barrier somehow, and play through a Chuche with all the strong follow-up because we're just winning next turn if he doesn't kill us. He draws Celestial, which doesn't really help here. He starts with Prosperity, banishes 6. Not much I can do to stop it. You can see the reveals are pretty unfortunate. It was an Alistair and then these. Nibiru's obviously not doing anything. Fusion Destiny's not doing anything because Rick has one. And Prosperity's obviously not doing anything. So he just has to add like a duplicate Alistair, which is just really unfortunate. But what can he do? He starts off now by normal summoning the Alistair. I just let it all go because I have a Dimensional Barrier. I'm like, you can make all your fusion plays. My Crystal Wing's just gonna try to stop your Ecclesia or a Maximus if you're able to get to it. Because like I can just D-barrier and stop the fusion play, so it doesn't really matter to me. Meltdown searches the Alistair. Activate Invocation, call D-barrier. I chain D-barrier. You gotta remember Magical Meltdown's other effect as well. When you summon a fusion monster, your opponent can't activate cards or effects during the summon window. So during the summon window, he could have summoned something like Raijin. Raijin would have been able to book a moon my Crystal Wing, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, but thankfully we have Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier is a very strong card against him. Special Ecclesia doesn't use the effect, and that's just a concession from his part. He technically could have like tried to do something with Ecclesia effect, like Ecclesia negate Ecclesia effect, activate. I try to negate with crystalline because I would just negate Ecclesia because at that point that's like his only monster you can use. He could have tried to Nadir Servanting, grabbing like Max. He could have tried to grab Maximus, Entis pop, Chuche. Maximus summoned itself out. Maximus could have dumped like another Entis or something. Like even then, like the fact that he can't use like any of the cards in his hand, and we just have such strong follow up. So honestly, you can't really blame him for conceding. Our board was just Dimensional Barrier was just too strong here. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of this virtual world build in the description below. Like I said, this is high risk, high reward. I personally wouldn't play this, but if you guys have access to Destroy Phoenix, the DP engine, and you want to try this out, it definitely has some very cool synergies with Malicious and Denier as your follow-up instead of Celestial and Asher. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys soon. Take care.